As far as our own learning behaviors go, our goal was to stay organized and focused on the importance of this class. Of course, there were times throughout the semester when both would procrastinate on an assignment, but we feel that we achieved this goal of having positive learning behaviors throughout. We think that the IEP project helped with this because we had to stay on top of all of the checkpoints that were given, or we would have fallen behind. We also felt that the Riot and ISIL project really gave us a better understanding of why you need so much information in an IEP. Also, we felt that the key to this class was communicating and making sure we understood all of the material so that we had a greater understanding when it came to completing projects in class. At the beginning of the semester, we both knew this class was going to be a tough one and would require a lot of effort, but both of us wanted to learn what it means to be a culturally responsive teacher and wanted to learn more about the different kinds of assessment. We had an idea of what it meant to be a culturally responsive teacher, but we were curious of some ways to put it into practice. We also were excited to get some experience with writing an IEP, because we had never really seen one before. We only knew that they were long and that they contained a lot of detail. We gained a lot of experience, but look forward to learning and growing in so many more areas. We learned a lot about what it takes to become culturally responsive, and we are excited to put some of these things into practice.
We have been to Chicago on a few bus trips in other classes, but this one was very different. In one class, we just did a community trip, and in the other, we observed in one classroom all day. We really enjoyed that for this project, we had a few different components. We were both in a middle school self-contained classroom, and it was a great opportunity because we got to talk to the students a little bit and explain what we were doing there. At the other schools we've been to, we weren't able to do that. This was also our first experience with teaching a lesson since we've been to college. It was helpful to be given all the materials for our lesson, but then we had to adapt it to our student. This was our favorite part of the trip. We loved getting to know the students that we were working with and helping them write their stories. We were very interested in this project because it's been something that we've heard other teachers talk about prior to this class. However, upon completing the project, we became frustrated with the PPVT itself. As we were answering some of the questions, we realized that we got some of the answers incorrect, not because we didn't understand the word that was being read to us, but because the pictures were not clear. As a future deaf educator, I felt frustrated because this test cannot be used with my students. We both assumed that there would be an alternative to the PPVT, but there is not. The test recognized that it cannot be given to deaf students, but didn't offer any alternatives. We both felt that the PPVT was an excellent practice and gave us a good idea of how administering and understanding assessments really is, rather than just reading about them.
This project helped a lot with professional development and collaboration. IEPs are documents that are completed and looked over as a team, so we found it very helpful that we completed them in pairs. It was great to have someone to bounce ideas off of and collaborate with. This project helped us really understand all of the work that goes into writing an IEP. IEPs have been something that we've been talking about since our first day at ISU, but have always just been something that we were told we would learn about later. We are glad that this was such an important project because it helped us understand all that goes into writing an IEP.
We think that this class has been beneficial to us as future educators. Everything that we did in this class seemed to have a very specific goal, and it was clear how we would use it in our careers. We thought that one of the most important and relevant things we have learned is what it means to be a culturally responsive teacher. When we were on our Chicago trip, we were with some of the teachers in the Teachers Lounge, and they were talking about how they had never heard the term culturally responsive before. We are glad we've had a class focused specifically on that. We plan on putting what we have learned in our own classrooms one day so that all of our students feel that they are respected and no one is left behind.